week. I don't often speak about my own family, but occasionally I must tell their compelling American story. My uncle, Charles Edward Lewis, 83 years old, of Jackson, Tennessee, passed away suddenly last weekend. Uncle Charlie served in the United States Air Force as a Sentry Dog Handler from 1955 to 58. After graduating from West Tennessee Business College when he left the service in 1962, Charlie became a supervisor and a public servant with the State Aid Department for the Tennessee Department of Transportation. He served for 44 years of service, but he also started his own business and obtained his license as a professional land surveyor in 1978 and started C.E. Lewis Land Surveying, serving West Tennessee until the day of his death. Uncle Charlie was the son of Grover Lewis and Ada Shackelford Lewis, my grandparents, both now deceased. He was one of 18 children, survived by his brother Bobby Lewis and sisters, Sarah Lindsay, my mom, Lenny Manus, and Martha Wilson. He's preceded in death by brothers Elmer Ray Lewis, another veteran, John Lewis, Billy Lewis, Jack Lewis, all veterans, and sisters Ann Davenport, Letty Bell, Evelyn Eads, stepbrother Ed Lewis, stepsisters Bertie McMinn, Brooksy Evans, Naomi Wilson. Charlie is also preceded in death by his wife of 37 years, Betty. He's survived by his son and my cousin, Charles Robert Lewis, his wife Gail, grandchildren Chad Lewis, wife Robin, Brandy Slaughter, and her husband Nick, Dylan Markham, married to Casey, and great-grandchildren Gavin, Channing, Brent, and Nolan. My Uncle Charlie and I were not particularly close, but he was among the men in my family that set the example for me that America was, is, and will be worth defending. Uncle Charlie was a very quiet, simple man that, like millions of other Americans, achieved things well beyond what would have been the station he was born into in other countries. He was born into a family of 18 children, as you can see from the names I just read off. My grandmother became a single mom when she was very young, never to remarry. But we are Americans, and as you can see, he grew up to serve his country in the military, become a public servant assisting 21 counties in Tennessee with designing and building bridges for over 40 years. If you've driven in West Tennessee on the country roads, you've likely driven across several of Uncle Charlie's bridges. And while doing all this, he developed himself into a businessman and a land surveyor, which he worked at until the day he died. And finally, he loved his country and his state like few others have. As I walked up to my uncle's casket to say goodbye the other day, he wasn't clad in fancy clothes or a uniform while lying in repose. He wore a simple plaid flannel shirt with his eyeglasses in the left pocket and a well-worn copy of the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution in the right pocket. The sight was simply confirmation for me that I was raised well by these men and women who came before me to be simply an American. And my life's work of defending the Constitution was so important to Uncle Charlie and me that it was the only path I could have chosen. My condolences to my cousin, little Charlie, and his family. You're in our prayers. I'd also like to pass my condolences to my friend Steve Bannon and his family, who lost his dad and their grandfather this week also. God bless us as Americans, past, present, and future.